This video is an experiment in the making because what I want to do is I want to test, does color in your thumbnail matter? This came up on a stream I was doing recently when we were looking at Peter McKinnon's old thumbnails, noticing this overall blue color hue to all of his old thumbnails versus some of his newer thumbnails having more of a warm orange glow to them. And it got me thinking, well, we can actually test this on YouTube directly. I've uploaded this video with two different thumbnails. So depending on which one you saw, you would have seen either the orange thumbnail or the blue thumbnail. Actually, leave a comment and let me know which one you got. I'm basically letting YouTube do the testing for me. All I had to do was play around with the color temperature and the RGB values on some of these lights here to make a blue thumbnail and an orange thumbnail. And we'll see, is blue more popular? Do you get more clicks with blue? Or do you get more clicks with orange? I don't know that I'll be able to define that definitively. It's something I'm actually going to test in future videos as well. Just what resonates, what's more clickable, blue or orange? I don't know the answer to it, but I am curious, and these trends could change over time as well. Maybe blue used to be the cool way to do the cool color, no pun intended. Maybe orange is the new trend. I don't know, but I'm curious to see which version you got. So leave a comment. Let me know if you got the orange or blue version of this thumbnail. And I'm going to test in future videos as well, just tweaking, playing with color a little bit to see what works the best. I don't know that this even matters. It's probably not for every YouTube channel. It's not for every content creator, but it's something that I think you're always wondering, and at least I'm wondering in the back of my mind, like, what do people prefer? What do they like to click on? If it's blue or if it's orange, does that matter? Is it the same? Is it equal? Obviously, there's a lot of other good practices when it comes to thumbnail design. Having a face is usually helpful. Minimal design, but still conveying what the video is going to look or feel like is also helpful. You'll notice a lot of my thumbnails I intentionally make to look like the video itself. I don't want to mislead or misguide someone when they click on it. They're like, some crazy over-the-top style thumbnail, and then it's just me sitting here talking to you. I don't want to do that. So I want the thumbnail to convey what the content is about, but I also want it to be clickable and enticing and what people gravitate towards. Does that matter, blue or orange? I don't know. I don't even think we'll know after this video, but with some ongoing testing, there may be some interesting insights there one way or the other. I have no idea. It comes down to a lot of stuff. Maybe people don't want to click on my face. That's fine. Maybe they're not interested in that particular topic. Like, that's fine too. My goal is to have a new video every day so you can learn a little bit, maybe just, I don't know, have it on in the background, something to listen to pass the time when you're shopping for groceries or you're doing the laundry. There's all this downtime in the day, and I think there's this interesting balance that I found in my life where, avoiding the doom scrolling, avoiding the just being stuck watching a screen, scrolling, as much as possible. But there's plenty of downtime all the time back in the day where people used to read newspapers. You're in transit, they're on their commute, they're on the subway, whatever. Now we have this great advantage of we can fill that time with something Audible, not the sponsor of today's video, not Audible, not a book, but just YouTube content in general. That's how I like to watch YouTube, is to listen to it. So that's the type of content I like to make as well. There are some videos where you do need to look at the screen to see what's happening because I might be showing you something. But other times I think it's maybe more helpful in certain situations. Again, when you're commuting, maybe when you're doing some chores, some yard work, you're doing the dishes, whatever it might be, you can just put something on that you're into. Maybe it's cameras, maybe it's technology, photography, videography, whatever it is. And you can just listen about the hobby or the profession that you're into. Maybe you learn something new that day that helps you or gives you, not even that you're learning something. Oftentimes, one idea will spark another. I think that's what's valuable about brainstorming, because even a bad idea can, kind of a pinball bounce into a good idea. So maybe that's all the value you need to get from a video too. You're just listening in the background, just helping you pass the time. And oh, hey, that reminds me, color testing and thumbnails. Actually, I was curious about this other thing that I want to test. And maybe that's something that you can go do and be creative and spend your time however it is you want to do to be productive and make whatever it is you want to make, whether that's art or maybe you're doing corporate client work. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. But sometimes what you're consuming, you are what you consume. So I try and consume stuff that is, I don't know, helpful, positive, encouraging, motivating. There is the flip side of that, where a lot of that content can become almost depressing because you realize like what you're not doing, or it makes you feel inferior, or like you're not the best or anything like that. So I want my videos to hopefully bridge that gap where it can inspire you and motivate you to go do something creative and be productive on your own, but not in a way where it's just me bragging about myself. Look how cool I am. Look how cool my life is. Look how cool this video is. And you're sitting there at home going like, oh man, like it's not a good feeling sometimes, even if it is cool to live vicariously through someone else and see what it is they're up to. And oh man, they're so great. A lot of times that content can actually have the opposite impact, where it's so positive that by contrast, you feel like you're lesser. And I don't think that's ever the case. So often how we capture something, how we edit it, the music we use, whatever it is, it gives it a vibe, it gives it a feeling, it puts it over the top in a way that is not realistic. It's often not what life is like. This happens frequently when you talk to people about what you do, and oh, that must be so cool. And you show them a behind the scenes video and they see the gear, or they see the rig, or it looks awesome. Any Hollywood behind the scenes, oh man, that looks so cool. That looks so fun in video form. But then once you bring those same people to set to do the job, hey, I need you to carry C-stands from, over there to bring them over here. We need to load up the car. We need to load up the van. We need to build the camera for the 1,000th time. A lot of the work is pretty tedious. It's pretty repetitive. It can be mundane. At least it gets to that point for most professionals, I think. They might enjoy it. They might love it. It might be fulfilling. But for your regular person who saw a cool behind the scenes video, for them to show up and actually do the work, they are kind of underwhelmed, I think. They go, oh, this isn't as cool and as lively as I saw in that video, because that's what video does. Storytelling makes things larger than life. It creates this epic scale that if you're constantly consuming that level of content, I think it can be slightly depressing in contrast, because you're seeing something at such a heightened, epic scale. You're seeing it larger than life. It's beyond reality. What is actually real, which is, sitting there waiting for, the talent to show up, or you're waiting for hair and makeup, or you're just waiting to get to, hurry up and wait. That's the common cliche. And it is true. That's what set is life a lot of times. You're just sitting there waiting, or you're, got to build the thing for the next time, or you're staying late, or you're working through a problem, or trying to get it right, trying to fix something. It's not as glamorous. Nothing in real life is as glamorous as we can make it in videos, in photos. It just looks so much cooler. And I don't know the psychology, the biology behind why humans are like that, why a video is so captivating, or why a photo tricks us in that way. It's very powerful if you harness that technique for clients or for projects, because it works. It is true. But for the content you're consuming, I definitely recommend finding that balance, finding the stuff that makes you feel good about what you're doing, rather than walking away from a video thinking like, oh, that was cool for them, but oh man, like I just want to watch another video. I don't feel like being creative, because I'll never be able to do something that cool. I'll never be able to do something that great. It can kind of put you in that place where you consume so much that you end up getting paralyzed almost in what you're able to create, because you feel like, someone else already did it. Why bother? They did it better than me. And I don't think that's helpful. I don't think that's encouraging. I don't think that's inspiring in the way that these creators probably want it to be. Maybe me sitting here talking is not the most interesting video, but I don't want it to be. I don't want to put on the show, dazzle you with spectacle, and make an awesome, amazing tutorial video for no other purpose than just making a cool YouTube video that at the end of the day, if the point is to teach and to learn and to inspire and educate, I want that to be a good feeling and enriching. So maybe that's just me and my personal outlook on it, but I don't know. I think there's a diminishing returns. You might get more views. I might get more views on YouTube making cooler videos, but also like I've tried that and it doesn't work either, as much as you might think it would. Oh, the more effort you put into a video, the more views you'll get. Sometimes, but not always. Oftentimes, the videos that get the most views, at least for my content, is the stuff where I'm just sitting here talking about something that people care about. And the videos that people don't care about, they don't click on. And it doesn't really matter how much effort or energy I put into it. There's other creators that you've probably seen across YouTube where you think, wow, why doesn't this video have more views? Why aren't they more popular? Why aren't they getting the recognition or the credit or the revenue? Because let's face it, YouTube, the views game is about revenue. You want people to succeed. You want them to be successful if you like them and you like their content, but oftentimes the effort isn't always rewarded. And other times it is. Sometimes there is a video that is deserving of the view count because there was a lot of effort put in, but it's not always a one-to-one equation. There's a lot of other factors at play. Maybe one of them is just purely the color of a thumbnail. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. This was kind of a strange video that took a few twists and turns as I'm just talking here. I only entered it with the question, does blue or orange make a difference in your thumbnail? Again, let me know which one you got. And also, if you share it with other people, they'll probably get a different version of that thumbnail as well. It's pretty cool what YouTube can do with this thumbnail testing. They haven't rolled out title testing or any other kind of, A/B testing for video performance, but we have the option to play with the YouTube thumbnails. So I figure might as well if it does make a difference. It used to be that best advice was, test yourself. If a thumbnail is not working, change it out. Well, now YouTube has that functionality built right in, and it does work. And I'm only curious, not about the text in it or the expression. I tried to be as similar as I could be with just swapping the color, but not just tinting it. I didn't want to just tint the photo one way or the other. I wanted to actually embrace the color. So I did change, my Kelvin, my temperature, and my RGB settings on some of these lights here to make it. Right now, what you're watching is relatively neutral. That's why I zeroed it out. But for the thumbnail, I wanted to go a little bit extreme both directions. Really orange, really blue, see which one works. If there is a difference, I will let you know. I'll probably do a follow-up video. If there's no, I'll just let you know how it goes, as well as some additional testing that I'm curious to see how it does. Because I'm kind of thinking it won't make a difference, but also I wouldn't be surprised if it does. I'll let you know.